What's going on, cronies? Cat Burglar here. April, what do we got? 19th, 2025. Gonna go into the NBA games. Obviously, last night was great. Miami, Atlanta went to overtime. Awesome game. Good watch. Hope you guys all had an opportunity to watch that game. It was really fun. Obviously, I hope the playoffs, there's a lot more games like this coming up. It makes it enjoyable. I'm going to go into the games today. Detroit, New York. This game's tough. Opened at 6.5. Now it's 7 across the board, as you guys can see right here. Again, I'm using odds logic. I will have affiliate link for this in the next few days. If you guys are interested, it's a great tool. Really like it. It's great for looking at lines, line movement, consensus information, public betting, all that kind of stuff. So, all right, so opened at 6.5. Now it's 7. I don't really have a take on this. New York's a really good team. I know a lot of people will be jumping on Detroit because they're kind of like the fan favorite right now. Just because they've been bad for so long, going up against a New York team, I think a lot of people want to jump on them. New York's really good. They're healthy. They got Brunson, Towns, Bridges. They got others as well. They're a very good team. I don't really have a take on this game. Milwaukee, Indiana opened at 4.5. Looks like it's been bet up to 6 across the board. I bet Milwaukee at plus 4.5. I wish I would have waited till 6. I just think this game is mispriced. Um, it's at 6. I just don't think Indiana is that much better than Milwaukee. Milwaukee has revenge in this series versus Indiana from last year. Obviously, Giannis is healthy for the first time in a few years in the playoffs. Dame looks like he'll be back in game 2 or some point in this series. So I think Milwaukee wins the series. I think they win this game. If you look at Indiana, like I said yesterday, their last 7 games, they played 2 games against Cleveland where Cleveland sat all their starters and they barely won. And they played one of those games with their whole starting 5 and they barely won the game. The last game of the year, they barely won. And if you look at in their 7-game winning stretch or whatever, 7 or 8, they haven't played anybody. So I think a lot of people are just this is kind of fool's gold on Indiana. They're kind of like the popular team, potentially get the Eastern Conference Finals. I just don't see it. I think Milwaukee wins this game, wins the series. Obviously, my lock and load pick is Giannis over 31 points. I got that a few days ago. I think it might be up to 31.5. I still like it. His usage against Indiana is very high, and he also is going to get about 7 to 8 more minutes. I see him playing 43 to 44 minutes today. So I think he gets this. He gets to the foul line. I think he gets over that total. That is my lock and load. Do what you want with it. Clippers, Denver. It's going to be a hell of a series. I'm really looking forward to this one. Clippers are my dark horse team to get to the NBA Finals. They play very good defense. They got Kawhi, they got Harden, they got other players. So they got guys to go to. Harden's had a great year. Kawhi looks like he's rounding into shape, going into the playoffs healthy. But that's going to be a heck of a series. Denver struggled this year for the most part, just got rid of their coach. But they've been playing better the last week or so. I don't put a lot of stock at the end of the last 2 weeks of the NBA season. A lot of teams just want to get to Cancun, basically, and other teams are kind of hacking it in to get rest. If their position's been solidified for the playoffs. So I know the West was kind of a logjam, so most of these teams had to play to the end. But anyways, that's my take on that. Minnesota Lakers. I did bet the Lakers for the series. What was this at? It's opened at minus 210. I think I got it at minus 185 a few days ago. Looks like it's somewhere between minus 190 across the board, minus 200. I still like the Lakers to win the series. I don't see Luka and LeBron going out in the first round. I don't think Minnesota has enough. I do think Ant is good enough to win a game or two, probably by himself. He's that good. This line stinks. -4. If I had to bet it, I'm probably betting Minnesota because I think this should be higher. I think this should be at 6 or so. But Lakers, I don't know. They know they're going to get, the books know they're going to get, a lot of Laker money. They're a fan favorite team. So, I don't know. I don't know if they're playing games here, what's going on. I'm not touching this game. But that's my take on it. I think this goes probably 6. Let's go into tomorrow's games. Cleveland, Miami. I did bet this early last night at -12. I love Cleveland. Not a lock and load, but I love them because Miami's played 2 road games in a row. They're tired. They're exhausted. Hero, if you watch that game, he looked exhausted at the end of the game. I don't see the quick turnaround with playing tomorrow. Their legs are not going to be there after playing in overtime. I just don't see it. So I did bet Cleveland. I also bet Hero under 24.5 points. I think he's going to get somewhere between 16 and 18. I think they'll be able to defend him a little bit better than he's been defended the last 2. He's going to be a focal point, too, after getting 38 and 30 his last 2 games. So I think they're going to defend him very good. Obviously, he's a hell of a player. He's going to get his. He's going to get points. But I think he goes under the total there. And that will be one of my bigger plays. Again, not a lock and load, but a play I'm playing. Do not have a take in this Orlando-Boston series. Boston's had a few injuries that concern me a little bit with Brown. I know they got players up the kazoo, so it's just kind of like, take one out, put one in. Obviously, you got Pritchard coming off the bench. One prop I did play here because I thought he'd get a little bit more time. I did play Pritchard over 9.5 points in this game. That's one of the props that I'm playing in this game, but I don't have anything on the side or total. Memphis, Oklahoma City. Obviously, Memphis has played a couple games. I think that's why you're seeing this huge line here. The question to me really is, how do they deal with Morant? Morant causes so much trouble, and if he can get into the lane, I think it could be problematic for Oklahoma City. This seems a little bit high to me. And, again, opened at 11.5, now up to 13.5. If I'm betting this game, I got to bet Memphis. The only thing that's a little bit scary is they've played, 2 games in the last, and this is their 3rd game in the quick turnaround in a very short period of time. So that's something similar to the Miami-Cleveland game. The only difference is Memphis played at home last night, where Miami's played 2 road games in a row. So Chicago and Atlanta last night. So something to consider in that game. Again, this won't be a play for me. Golden State, Houston. This series is interesting because Houston is a 2 seed and Golden State's a 7 seed. And this is, I think Golden State's favored to win the series here. Let's see. Yes. So opened at -195. Houston's +165. That's a little bit interesting. You don't normally see that from a 2 seed. I get it. Golden State's been good forever. That's probably priced into the market. And obviously, Golden State's a very good team. They got Jimmy, playoff Jimmy. Obviously, Steph. They got other guys as well. But, their playoff season, where Houston, this is kind of their first go-around, really, of being an upper echelon team. So, don't really have a clear take in that. But that's what I'm playing. Again, guys, I'm going to try to make these short. Next week, like I told you yesterday, I'm going to go into, and I know there will be games, but I'm going to go into a little bit more of a sports betting series. Some stuff that, basically how I've become a better bettor over the last year. Basically really limiting my bets and why I'm doing that. Again, I'm not a tout. I'm not a handicapper. I don't sell picks. I don't do any of that. I give advice based on me handicapping for numerous years. And then also talking to other people in the industry that I feel are very good sports bettors. have a lot of great information, and I value their information. So that's really how I come up with my picks. I try not to be influenced as much by what other people say, because unless you really, you know, trust their word, and they have a big track record of success. But again, I'm gonna go into that next week. A lot of different stuff. That's going to be part of the channel. I don't know if it's education or kind of just my take on things. And if you disagree or whatever else, or if there's something you want me to talk about, you know, add it into the comments of the video. Hit me up any way you want, and I'll try to do a video on it. Thanks, guys.